Look, I'm gonna be straight with you. Harley-Davidson just did the unthinkable. They killed off the most legendary front end in cruiser history, quietly, without asking permission. And honestly, most of the motorcycle world didn't even notice. The 2026 Cross Bones is real. It's sitting in my garage right now. And the very first thing the motor company did with this resurrection was commit what some diehards are calling flat-out treason. They ditched the Springer fork. The whole damn thing. The 4-bar linkage, those exposed springs that looked like they belonged on a 1940s board tracker, that unmistakable silhouette that whispered, "I'm old school," without ever shouting. All of it gone. Replaced by some inverted unit that wouldn't look out of place on a Japanese leader bike. And here's the crazy part. I'm not even upset about it. Okay, no, that's a lie. When those leaked images hit my phone, I lost my mind. I threw my phone across the garage. My wife came running out thinking I'd finally snapped. But then I actually rode the thing, and everything I thought I knew, yeah, it went right out the window. Welcome to Motometrics. Today we're doing something unprecedented. We've got a motorcycle in our possession that technically doesn't exist, the 2026 Cross Bones. And before you ask, yes, it's real. Yes, it's in my driveway, and no, I'm not spilling the beans on how I got it. Let's just say dark favors were called in. But here's the thing, this isn't just another review. This is an intervention, because if you're a genuine Harley rider, not the kind who polishes their bike every Sunday, but the kind who actually racks up miles, you need to see what they've done here. They didn't just resurrect a nameplate, they brought back a whole philosophy, set it on fire, and rebuilt it from the ashes. It's spectacular. Now put your phone down. I'm serious. I'll wait. Good, because what I'm about to show you will mess with your head. It'll make you question every preconceived notion about what a Harley should be. This bike has liquid cooling, a TFT display, ride modes that actually work, traction control, and cornering ABS, all the tech the old guard has been screaming about. And somehow, against all odds, Harley crammed all of that into a package that still looks like it rolled straight out of a 1940s chop shop. Let's rewind. The original Cross Bones dropped in 2008. The economy was in free fall, and Harley, in their infinite wisdom, released a bike that looked like a Tarantino film. Low, mean, aggressive, that Springer fork nobody else had the guts to use, and a name that sounded like trouble. For 5 glorious years, it was the coolest thing in their lineup. Then 2012 rolled around and they killed it. Overnight. No warning. The world shrugged and moved on. Until last month. I was doing my usual 2 a.m. ritual, watching spy footage, eating cold pizza, when my phone buzzed. A text from a source I've never met but trust with my life simply read, "Cross Bones, 2026. Check your email." I opened my inbox. One attachment, no subject, just a single photo. I literally spit coffee all over my laptop. It was a Cross Bones, but the Springer was MIA. In its place sat a gorgeous, menacing inverted fork that looked stolen off a Ducati. The engine was different too, more compact, sleeker, liquid-cooled. That Revolution Max 1250 mil from the Pan America, but tuned differently. Tuned for brutal low-end grunt, tuned to make you forget the twin cam ever existed. Now, here's where it gets weird. The exhaust. They didn't go with traditional slash-cut pipes. They went with a 2-into-1 high-mount system that screams performance. It's the kind of setup that announces, "I'm here to ride." And the sound? When I first fired it up, my neighbor sprinted out in his robe clothes thinking there was an earthquake. It's that deep, that guttural. Before we dive deeper, be honest with yourself. How many reviews drone on for 10 minutes about seat padding and storage compartments? You don't care about that. You want to know if this thing rips. So let's skip the fluff. Here's what happens when you crack the throttle. First time I rode it, I nearly crashed. Not because it's unstable, but because I wasn't ready for what happened. I rolled out, found a straight stretch, and twisted the throttle like I would on my street glide, and the front wheel lifted. Not a little, a lot. This 550-pound bobber lifted its tire like it was a 250-pound dirt bike. I was genuinely caught off guard. The torque hits so early and violently that if you're not paying attention, you'll be staring at the sky. That's a very good thing. Let's talk numbers. The 2026 Cross Bones puts down 100 horsepower and 115 foot-pounds of torque, but the secret is the torque curve. It's dead flat. It doesn't peak at 4,000 RPM and fall off, it just stays there, pulling and pulling until you run out of road or nerve. And the sound? The original was like a garage band covering Metallica, raw, a little sloppy. This is a symphony. You've got that low-frequency rumble vibrating through your chest, but a sharp crackle on the D-cell that says, "I'm here to wake your neighbors and make your wife roll her eyes." If that doesn't make you smile, you might be dead inside. The engine is incredible. The suspension is transformative. The brakes, which I haven't even mentioned, are Brembo. 4-piston calipers, dual discs up front. The stopping power is borderline absurd. But none of that matters if the bike looks like a potato. And the 2026 Cross Bones definitely does not look like a potato. Harley studied what made the original special, the minimalist fenders, the slammed stance, that don't care attitude, and cranked it to 11. The fuel tank is sculpted. The rear fender is chopped so short it barely covers the tire. It's the kind of bike that makes you want to throw on a leather vest, grow a beard, and ride into the sunset. Then there's the paint. The denim black is back. But they also introduced a two-tone called Aguila Blue. It's a deep metallic that shifts from almost black to brilliant sapphire, paired with satin bronze accents on the wheels and forks. It's stunning. Combine that with the full LED headlight and compact TFT display, and you have a bike that looks like it came from the future and 1947 at the same time. Now, I know some of you are still sitting there with your arms crossed. It doesn't have a springer. It's not a real Cross Bones. I get it. I was one of you. I protested, I wrote angry tweets, I yelled at my dealer, and then I rode the bike and realized I was wrong. So wrong. The Showa inverted fork is leagues ahead. It absorbs bumps that would have rattled your spine on the original. It keeps the front tire planted in corners where the old bike would have washed out. It gives you confidence to push harder, brake later, and lean further. And the rear suspension? They kept the hidden monoshock, but dialed it in sportier. It's the kind of setup that makes you hunt for the twistiest road. I rode 200 miles on my first day, and my back didn't hurt. My wrists didn't ache. I just kept riding because I didn't want to stop. That's the hallmark of a great motorcycle. Let's talk tech, because this is going to ruffle feathers. The bike has a 4-inch TFT display. It's round, so from a distance it looks analog, but when you fire it up, it lights up with GPS, ride modes, and Bluetooth. There's a nostalgia mode that mimics an old-school speedo, and a sport mode with a tach, gear indicator, and lap timer, because you might want to track this thing. And trust me, you wouldn't be embarrassed. This thing handles. And, for the love of all that's holy, they gave it cornering ABS and traction control. You can ride this in the rain without being terrified. You can grab a handful of front brake mid-corner and the bike won't high-side you. It's modern, it's safe, it's still a Harley. Now, I promised you a reveal. The truth is, the 2026 Harley-Davidson Cross Bones is a concept. It's not in production, Harley hasn't announced it, they haven't even acknowledged it. But here's why I'm telling you this. I believe if we make enough noise, if we prove there's a market, they will build it. They built the Pan America because people demanded it. They built the Nightster because riders wanted a liquid-cooled sportster. They can build this. They need to know we're serious. So here's the question. Answer honestly in the comments. Would you buy this bike for $22,000? $24,000? Would you trade your Street Bob, your lowrider, for a Cross Bones that handles like a sport bike and looks like a movie star? Because if the answer is yes, we can make this happen. We can bring back the Cross Bones the right way. Not the way they did it in 2008, but the way we want it in 2026. Before I go, I need to tell you something else. This isn't the only secret Harley is hiding. I've got sources whispering about something even bigger. Something involving a V-twin, a supercharger, and the word V-rod. But that's a story for another day. If you want to hear it, click right here to watch the video on the rumored 2026 V-Rod resurrection. I promise it'll blow your mind even more.